Growing up, when I was little, I would read my old diaries, and my mom found some, and it would just talk about how I wanted, like, I loved my family, and I wanted to be a mom. Like, I've always wanted to be a mom because my mom loved me so hard, and I just knew that growing up, that I was so loved that I wanted to do that too.
Hey guys! I like to say that because I'm a Tia Mowry fan, and every time she starts her video, she's like, "Hey guys!"
Hi, I'm Jenna, and I'm 33, but in 2017, at the age of 31, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. Oh, here we go. I'm ready to get dirty. There we go. Oh, yeah. I literally had to spray Cam down with water and rub him with the blanket we had in the car to get all the dirt off of him when we left here one day. I went into active labor maybe around midnight and then he didn't come until noon, 12:17 p.m. the next day. So yeah, and then I ended up having a C-section. So I was pushing, doing everything I could, and Cameron was playing hide and seek. He came out. I was 9.5 centimeters dilated, y'all, 9.5, and then ended up having to have a C-section. Horrible. But it's okay because I didn't feel anything. As soon as the guy said, okay, he said, "Sweetheart, you're going to feel a lot of pressure." And the pressure came, I just passed out. So I woke up after Cameron was already out, and I just looked over and I said, "Is that my baby?" And they said, "Yes." And it was just wonderful. I don't know. It's just thinking back on it, it just gets me so emotional because, like I said, I've been wanting to be a mom for so long, and for it to finally come to fruition, it was the best day of my life. It's kind of neck and neck with my wedding and having my first child. So, yeah, that was amazing.
Thanks, Coach.
We waited to put him in an organized sport until after I was able to come watch him. So, it means a lot for me to be here. Cameron, look at the ball.
Kristen, look.
The ball's right here. Get the ball, Cam. Get the ball.
Come on. Come on.
Take it, Cameron.
What are you doing? Hurry up, buddy. Hurry up.
So, Cameron turned 1 in June of 2017, and I was diagnosed in June of 2017. So it was a difficult time, but at the same time, I feel like he was most of the motivation for me to get through, because I can't sit and be sad all day or in my feelings or look like I'm sick or cry or not be a mom. Like, I had to continue to do those things.
Next person. He did a good job and he ran hard. Mr. Cameron. You got it?
You know, it's the first time Cameron's been in an organized sport, so I think he's getting familiar with playing, and I think next season will be better, much better. But it was nice to see him out there for the first time in his little outfit. How cute is he? Unless you want to. Come on. You look at me like you love me. So, I had my first surgery when Cameron was, well, he was almost 18 months old. So from the time he was born up until that point, I had been super hands-on and just trying to be the best mom that I could be. And I loved being a mom. I loved doing everything for Cameron that I could. And after I had to start chemo and all the surgeries and everything, I just remember I got so weak, especially after surgery, because my first surgery was a triple surgery, and I had 3 of my organs removed or partially removed, and I could barely walk, I could barely breathe. I'm already just small by nature, so just the impact of having such a rigorous surgery done was very hard on my body. And at the time, I didn't know that I was actually having a complication. I just thought it was surgical pains, because obviously I had never been through that type of surgery before. So I didn't know what to expect. And I remember Cameron didn't understand, obviously, because he's 1. He doesn't understand that mommy can't play, mommy can't run around.
I'm 1 now?
No, baby, you're 3 now. But when you were 1, mommy can't do all the things that she could do before. And I didn't want to be a disappointment to him, because I knew we were so close. So I made it work. Whatever I could do, I did. And then when it was too much, I just sat down. But I couldn't pick him up, and even if he were to sit on my lap, just imagine, he's only 1, but sitting on my lap hurt me so bad. I was so frail, like brittle. My bones felt like they were going to break with just this little person sitting on my lap. And a lot of times I wanted to cry. And sometimes when he would try to lay on me and go to sleep, my bones were poking out so much that they were uncomfortable for him. So he would always try to move or put his hand in between me and his face so that he could be comfortable. And it just, not that it hurt my feelings, but it did. And he didn't know that he was doing it. He's just trying to get comfortable. And mommy just didn't have the comfort for him anymore, because I was losing so much weight. I think that it's good that he understands at a young age, and I have sat him down before to explain to him what my illness is, because it's going to be something that we have to deal with for the rest of my life. So he needs to understand. So he knows that I have cancer. He may not understand fully what it is, but he is familiar with the word, and that cancer means mommy has chemo. Cancer means that mommy's tired. Cancer means that sometimes mommy can't get out of the bed for days at a time. Even though it was harder, it made me work harder to get better, just wanting to be here for my son, because I remember I strategically had sessions where I would cry when I was alone, and I would just ask God to just please let me be here a little while longer. After I was diagnosed, I started writing Cameron letters. And I started writing him letters because at that point, you know, my life was up in the air. I didn't really know what was going to happen to me. I always thought positive. I'm a positive person by nature, but I just wanted to make sure that he knew from me, and not by being told by anyone else, that I loved him. So I started writing him letters every year. When I lost my hair the first time, I remember I felt so self-conscious because I've had long hair all my life. But I would go and I would look at Cameron and I'd say, Cameron, you think I'm pretty? And he'd say, yes, you're pretty. Like, mommy looks like a princess. And it just meant the world to me, because kids will tell you honestly what they think. So I would always go to him to get his honest opinion, and it was always positive. I remember one time recently, I had chemo, and then on the day that I got unhooked, I wasn't feeling well, but the next day I was putting him to bed, and we were both laying down in his bed together, and the chemo drugs had given me a really, really bad rash on my face, and it got really bad. I felt really unpretty. It was just a bad situation. And Cameron came and he rubbed my face and he said, Mommy, you got boo-boos on your face. I said, yeah, Mommy's got boo-boos on her face. And then he said, it's okay. I said, okay, thank you. And then we lay down, and then he said, Mommy, close your eyes. And so I closed my eyes, and he started to rub my face, and he started to sing Rockabye Baby to me as he was rubbing my face. And I was laying down and he was holding me, and I just remember that I started to
started to cry while he was singing to me because it was just the sweetest moment. And he does a lot of things like that to me that no one ever sees. It's just between me and Cameron, and it just means the world to me. He just kind of started to become, I don't know, like little Dr. Cameron. I feel like even though people are just like, well, I want to get so far in my career, I want to do this, I want to do that. And yes, that was me too, but my greatest accomplishment yet has been my son. Like, I love him more than life itself. I don't know, I just knew that one day I'd meet my little prince and he'd just be me and my husband's world, and he is. So, yeah, so that was it. I get so excited.